Oh my goodness, okay. My first job, I was a cashier at what we call a drugstore in the United States. And I worked there for a whole year. It was quite a dramatic little job, only because, well, one, this was the United States, I know I probably shouldn't always say that, but I was held up at gunpoint. And my mom was like, I don't know if you can work there anymore, but it was quite dramatic. And after it occurred, the person who was in line behind the guy said, you know, are you gonna ring me up? And I'm like, I'm gonna ring you up. Did you just see what happened? But I actually loved working there for a set of reasons. One, it taught me a bunch of things. One, it taught me how to be calm under pressure. It taught me to be accountable. And it taught me also what it meant to have coworkers and team members who had your back. And so in that sense, I enjoyed it. My go-to coffee or tea. I'm not a big coffee or tea drinker, but when I do drink, I drink mint tea. And I add Splenda, which I know most people don't add a level of sugar. I do not add milk, which I know is other people's favorite thing. And I add a little lemon. I think there's a lot they'd be surprised to learn about. You know, I think that most people are always surprised to learn how much I love pop culture. In other words, I can tell you the name of every royal baby. I can tell you the name of Beyonce's children. I can tell you how old they are. I can tell you anything and everything about pop culture because I love it. And so I think most people always are surprised because I can be a relatively serious person and sometimes a little intense. And so when they learn that I have that kind of interest in pop culture, it's a little bit different. Well, so I was born on Friday. Okay. So I think that's a Thea, is that right? If I, was born here, I would hope that I would get one of those more beautiful names that I always hear. I've met a woman whose name was Blessing. I've met a woman whose name was Precious. I've met a woman, and those always just sound just lovely. And I would love to be loved so much by my parents that they would give me a name that has that kind of meaning. And I've seen that a lot here at Ghana. There are two things I love about Ghana. The first thing I love about Ghana are the people. And I was really, it doesn't surprise, but it was just an amazing thing to me. When I first came to Ghana, I came actually when I was working for President Clinton. And he was here on a visit, and there had been so much chaos around the trip where there were all these people who were pushing to try to say hello to him. But at the time, I was one of the people that was being crushed. And he reached down and pulled me up. And at the time, I remember feeling like, wow, people were really excited to see him, but it also was very concerning, right? Because I was worried about my safety. And when I came back, I got to come back when he wasn't here, fantastic. And I got to deal with people one-on-one, and it was just amazing because people are so welcoming and so kind. And the level of engagement that you get, it's not typical when you are coming from the places where I come from. And so for me, that is something that I distinctly noticed. The second thing I love is the climate. I love the temperature, I love the climate, I love being out in it. It's, for me, fantastic. So both of those things make it a place that I enjoy spending time. I don't know what my hidden skill or unusual talent is, but there are things that I think I rely on in being able to try to be successful in life. And one of them is really trying hard to create for people an understanding that their voice matters and that they matter. And I try and do that in a multiplicity of ways so that by the end of the time I'm engaging with someone, they don't think of me as someone who doesn't care deeply about them, but rather understands that I'm committed, I'm in, right, from the first time I speak with them. And so I try hard to have that be something that lives with people. And I think a lot of times people are surprised that that's the way I might seek to engage in the world. But that matters to me. So maybe not as hidden, but it is something that I'm deeply committed to. Well, one, come to Ghana. Come to Ghana, even if you don't buy one of our fantastic homes, you should come to Ghana because your experience will be an incredible one. And the opportunity to actually then buy a home, live here, what an amazing gift that would be. And we hope we could be part of it.